We live in a world that, really celebrates hustle. We wear our busyness like a badge of honor. When we feel that deep, bone-aching exhaustion, we often blame our schedules. We think, I'm working too many hours, or my to-do list is just too long. We believe that a long weekend or a vacation will be the magic cure. But what if that exhaustion isn't just about being overworked? What if it's something deeper? What if the tiredness we feel is actually a signal from our soul, telling us that we are not just busy but disconnected? This is a different kind of tired. It's the exhaustion that lingers even after a full night's sleep. This deeper exhaustion comes from a misalignment. It happens when the life we are living on the outside doesn't match the person we are on the inside. We might be chasing goals that society told us were important, but honestly, they don't light up our hearts. We might be surrounded by people, yet feel profoundly lonely because our connections lack true depth and vulnerability. We spend our days just performing tasks, checking boxes, and playing roles. We become human doings instead of human beings. This gap between our actions and our authentic self creates a constant low-level stress. It's a quiet drain on our energy, one that we often fail to notice until we feel completely burned out. Think of your energy like a battery. Working hard can drain it, but rest can recharge it. That's a simple exchange. But disconnection is different. It's like having a dozen apps running in the background of your phone, silently draining the battery even when you're not using it. Living a life that isn't true to your values is like running these hidden apps. You are constantly spending energy trying to be someone you're not. You are using precious power to maintain a facade, to ignore your intuition, and to suppress your true feelings. This is why you can feel so tired even on a day when you haven't done much. Your energy is being spent on internal conflict, not external effort. So, we must challenge the common story about burnout. It's not always a problem of time management, it's often a problem of energy management. And our greatest source of energy comes from living with purpose and connection. When we are disconnected from our values, from our passions, from the people we love, and from our own inner voice, we are living in a state of spiritual and emotional debt. The fatigue we feel is the interest we pay on that debt. The first step to healing is not to simply work less, but to start the journey of reconnecting more. It's about closing the gap between who you are and what you do. Let's look at what happens inside your brain. It's not just a feeling, it's biology. When you are stressed, anxious, or living in a way that feels inauthentic, your brain activates its fight or flight response. This is managed by a part of your brain called the amygdala. It floods your body with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are designed for short-term emergencies like running from a predator. They give you a burst of energy and focus. But when you are disconnected, you live in a state of chronic low-grade stress. Your alarm system is always on, even if just a little. This constant drip of stress hormones is honestly incredibly taxing on your system. This state of chronic stress does more than just make you feel on edge. It directly impacts the parts of your brain responsible for clear thinking, planning, and emotional regulation. The prefrontal cortex, which is kind of like the CEO of your brain, struggles to function properly when it's overwhelmed by cortisol. This is why, when you're burned out, you find it hard to concentrate, make decisions, or remember things. You might feel foggy and unfocused. Your brain is literally diverting its resources to manage the perceived threat of being disconnected, leaving less energy for higher-level thinking and creativity. It's a survival mechanism that, in the long run, just drains you completely. Now let's consider the opposite. What happens when you feel connected, purposeful, and aligned with your values? Your brain releases a very different set of chemicals. When you engage in meaningful activities or share a moment of genuine connection with someone, your brain produces neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. Dopamine is linked to motivation and reward. Serotonin helps regulate your mood and promotes feelings of well-being. Oxytocin is often called the bonding hormone because it fosters trust and connection. These aren't just happy chemicals, they are energy chemicals. They help your brain function at its best. This is the simple science of exhaustion versus energy. A disconnected life keeps your brain in a state of threat, draining your cognitive and emotional resources. A connected life, on the other hand, bathes your brain in chemicals that promote restoration, focus, and vitality. It's not about avoiding all stress, It's about balancing it with deep sources of meaning and connection. The path to feeling more alive is not just about reducing the bad stuff, it's about actively cultivating the good stuff. It's about making choices that tell your brain, you are safe, you are on the right path, you belong. This isn't a new idea. For thousands of years, wise thinkers and spiritual traditions have taught us that true suffering comes from disconnection. The great psychologist Carl Jung spoke about the shadow self. This is the part of us that we hide, deny, or ignore because we are afraid it won't be accepted by others. Jung believed that when we suppress our true nature, we create a deep internal conflict. This conflict requires enormous psychic energy to maintain. The exhaustion we feel is the price of that self-rejection. He taught that the journey to wholeness, or what he called individuation, involves courageously embracing all parts of ourselves, the light and the shadow. Another brilliant mind, Alfred Adler, a contemporary of Jung and Freud, taught that all human beings have a fundamental need to belong. He called this social interest. Adler believed that our mental health and happiness depend on our ability to feel connected to others and contribute to the good of the community. When we isolate ourselves or when our goals are purely selfish, we feel alienated and discouraged. This feeling of not belonging, of being separate, is a profound source of exhaustion. It's the fatigue of the lonely heart. Adler's wisdom reminds us that we are not islands, we are energized when we are part of something larger than ourselves. Buddhist psychology offers a similar perspective. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is the concept of anatta, or no self. This doesn't mean you don't exist, it means that the rigid, separate, ego self we cling to is an illusion. Our suffering comes from trying to protect and promote this separate self. When we let go of this attachment, we realize we are interconnected with all of life. This realization brings a sense of peace and boundless energy. The feeling of burnout, from this viewpoint, is the ultimate expression of the exhausted ego, tired from its constant struggle to prove its importance and maintain its separation. These ancient and modern thinkers all point to the same truth. We are not machines that simply run out of fuel. We are living beings who wither when we are cut off from our roots. Our roots are our true selves, our community, and our sense of purpose. The exhaustion so many of us feel today is a spiritual crisis disguised as a productivity problem. It's a profound invitation from life to stop running, to turn inward, and to ask ourselves, what have I become disconnected from? The answer to that question is the beginning of our journey back to energy and wholeness. So, how do we begin this journey back to connection? It starts with small, intentional actions. The first and most important connection is with yourself. We must create moments of stillness to listen to our inner voice. This can be as simple as finding 5 minutes each morning to sit in silence before reaching for your phone. Ask yourself, how do I feel right now truly? Don't judge the answer, just listen. Another powerful practice is journaling. Write down your thoughts and feelings without censoring them. This practice helps you honor your own story and see yourself as more than just a worker or a role you play. You are a person with a rich inner world. Next, we must reconnect with our purpose. Your purpose is not some grand unattainable goal. It is found in what you value. Ask yourself, what matters most to me? What makes me feel alive? Perhaps it's creativity, or helping others, or learning new things. Once you identify a core value, find one small way to bring it into your week. If you value compassion, take 5 minutes to send a kind message to a friend. If you value creativity, spend 15 minutes sketching or writing. Purpose is not found. It is built, moment by moment, through actions that align with what is in your heart. These small acts of purpose are powerful deposits into your energy account. Connection with others is the antidote to the loneliness that drains us. But this requires more than just being in the same room. It requires presence. The next time you're with a loved one, practice deep listening. Put your phone away, make eye contact, and listen not just to their words, but to the feelings behind them. Share something real about yourself too. Vulnerability is the currency of true connection. One deep, authentic conversation can be more energizing than a dozen superficial interactions. We are wired for this kind of connection. It tells our nervous system that we are safe and that we belong. Finally, we must reconnect with the natural rhythms of life. Our modern world encourages us to live like machines, always on, always productive. But we are natural beings. We need rest, we need sunlight, we need to move our bodies. Try to honor the rhythm of day and night. Wind down before bed, away from screens. Spend a few minutes outside each day, feeling the sun or the wind on your skin. Notice the changing seasons. These simple acts remind us that we are part of a larger, living world. They ground us and pull us out of the stressful, artificial urgency of modern life, reconnecting us to a more sustainable and ancient source of energy. Now it is time to stop thinking and start doing. Knowledge is only potential power. Action is what creates change. To close this gap between knowing and doing, I want to leave you with a simple tool, the personal burnout audit. This is not a test to be graded, but a mirror to be looked into. It's a gentle check-in to help you identify where the disconnection might be in your own life. Find a quiet moment, take a deep breath, and reflect on these questions with honesty and compassion. There are no right or wrong answers, only your truth. This is your first step toward taking your energy back. Ask yourself first, on a scale of 1 to 10, how connected do I feel to myself right now? Think about it. Do you know how you are truly feeling deep down? Do you make time to listen to your own thoughts and honor your emotions? Or do you spend your days ignoring your inner world, pushing through discomfort just to get things done? Give yourself a number, and whatever that number is, it's okay. It's just a starting point. This question helps you measure your connection to your most important relationship, the one you have with yourself. It is the foundation for everything else. Second, ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how connected do I feel to a sense of purpose? This doesn't mean, am I changing the world? It means, are my daily actions aligned with what I truly value? Do you feel like you are contributing something meaningful, even in a small way? Or do you feel like you are just going through the motions, living a life that someone else designed for you? Consider your work, your hobbies, and your relationships. Reflect on where you feel a spark of meaning and where you feel a sense of emptiness. This question helps you see if your energy is being invested or just spent. Finally, ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how connected do I feel to others and the world around me? Think about the quality of your relationships. Do you have people in your life with whom you can be your true self? Do you feel seen and supported? And do you feel connected to the natural world, to a sense of wonder, to something bigger than your daily problems? This question audits your sense of belonging. Remember, we are not designed to do this life alone. Isolation is one of the fastest paths to exhaustion. Now look at your answers. Choose the area with the lowest score and commit to one small, simple action this week to raise it by just 1 point. That is all. You are not a machine. You are a human being, worthy of a life filled with energy, purpose, and connection. Start today.